Guys, commercial real estate in 2025, where is it going to go? Stay tuned. We're going to talk about it right now.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
So, wrapping up 2024 commercial market with commercial agent Josh Wapshott. Buddy, what do you reckon? Where'd we go in 2024 and where we're going in 2025?
Well, Mark, I tell you what, I'm excited. If the end of 2024 is the beginning of our 2025, it's going to be an exciting one. The amount of transactions we're seeing go through in the commercial space as we head towards the end of the year is definitely something enlightening in regards to the real estate market and commercial itself. So, we've seen a number of transactions looking very positive.
So tell me, what was the vibe for 2024? Let's break it up in different sections. Shops, retail, strip shops, main road.
Yeah, so look, for our retail at the start of the year was probably a hill climb from the bottom up. Definitely with the recent economy, with interest rates, inflation, whatever it may be, we have seen our retail businesses struggle. Therefore, your rents. But I really have seen a change coming into the end of the year. We've had a lot more bigger premises come off the market. So we had a big place over in Chatswood, that Maccabi Avenue there. Remember that warehouse?
Yeah.
So that was a big one we've had available for some time. Then again, we've got another one on Pittwater Road, 728, 730, just opposite Brookie Oval there. That's another big lease we've got available, 850 square metre, prime real estate right on the main road. Even the inquiry level on something like that, like yesterday I took through a potential childcare centre looking to get into the market there. We've had BCF, we've had Tesla, we've had a number of big brands wanting to have a flagship pole for the Northern Beaches in that Brookie area. So, not only inquiries level, but also the inquiry converting into, a leased premises or a purchased property. So, I mean, those are generally the telltale signs. But yeah, inquiries big. Things are getting converted. There's no time wasters out there. People are quite serious when they're coming out to look.
So retail shops up, down. Next, so this year they've come better. What about storage units? Are they how did they fare? How did they fare in 2024?
I think storage units has been one of the big ones in the Northern Beaches, just because you have so many different customers. You have people wanting to, work on the cars on the weekend. You have people that travel 6 months in Oz, 6 months overseas. They leave half of their stuff in the storage. They might Airbnb or, might lease out their property, whatever it may be. You've got tradies. I mean, even small businesses operating out of them. We just recently had a gentleman pick up 2 storage units over at French's Forest. He started with one after we've gone through the tale of the sale and what's involved in the project.
Purchased or rented?
Purchased. Yeah. So purchased off the plan over at 7 Rodborough Road, French's Forest.
They've been faring pretty well this year. What about warehouses, like the ones like warehouses where you've got sort of 100 metres squared, high clearance? How have they gone this year for rent, for sale?
Yeah, so definitely I'd say the hottest side is the sales. Anything sort of circa 750 to 1.2 in your warehouse space flies like hotcakes. There's just a huge buyer pool for that as well. You've got generally your people that want to operate businesses out of them. You've got
750,000 to 1.2 million.
Yeah, they've been the hotcakes. Also, like, yeah, you do get the unicorn where you've got this big open warehouse, probably similar to what we had down on Kenneth, down in Manly Vale. Those sort of warehouses too. You've got some big fish that are circling for that type of property. So again, love a very healthy amount of inquiry, and that's only built up steam as we head towards the end of the year. So that's what's got me excited.
Concrete boxes have done okay. So tell me, what about industrial? So, in your Brookvale area, your industrial, your 24-hour industry, how's that stuff rented and sold in 2024?
Yeah, look, again, it has been an uphill. I mean, for a lot of it, and we're hearing this from a lot of our contacts within the commercial space. Costico and all those sorts of companies have released quite a number of reports recently. They're half yearly, and then just one last week, and they've sort of put in there, look, we're predicting the bottom. Now's the time to pick up your commercial stock, because we'll probably start to see some recovery in that space. So yeah, I think industrial, it's an opportunity to pick up something in 5-10 years time that will give you a handsome reward in terms of your investment there. Yeah, industrial, it's really the same story across the board. Some have taken a bigger hit than others, and I would say that's generally your retail. But guys, when things take big hits in Sydney's property market, that's an opportunity, and an opportunity to enter and create some real equity.
And Josh, what was the easiest thing to rent this year? The easiest category in commercial?
So I think,
rent quick.
So basically, cut up spaces. So towards the start of the year, middle of the year, basically you had your big commercial spaces, and what we had landlords doing was cut up these spaces, basically just to appeal to businesses wanting to reduce their expenditure and overheads. So we had a big office spaces, particularly. We had a big influx of lease properties go out, and a large amount of inquiry for small office spaces. So we've got a few there. I think a great landlord down the road on 683 Pittwater Road has just released 4 new ones down there. So yeah, we've seen a real good influx of interest in those types. But what I've really seen is I've got that many buyers in the commercial space for those warehouses from 750 to 1.2 that it's a matter of just trying to find the stock, because yeah, there's always a few buyers left behind.
Josh, what's the hardest stuff? What was the hardest credit category to rent or and still owning both?
I think it's probably the hardest. Yeah, the hardest would probably be being maybe vacant shops for investors. So anything without a lease attached. Generally a lot of our investors are looking for a tenant that's in there for a couple of years and with an option. Probably selling properties without that lease attached. But that just goes to show that we have a great pool of investors and buyers in our database. Probably vacant commercial, probably selling offices as itself. Renting very easy, but selling probably, if you compare that to warehouses, probably on the lesser side. And that's generally because we're seeing people that would normally rent those big offices going into smaller ones and cut up spaces, so to speak. So I would probably say that space there. But what they've said is basically this space here, due to the hit it's taken, they reckon that this will have one of the best recovery rates in the 2025 market. So every time there's a non-performer, well, it's a good place to position yourself so that you're owning that asset while it's performing rather than when it's going the opposite direction. So that would be my take, Mark.
2025, where do you think it's going to go?
2025. Well, I think we're going to hit the ground running. Everyone's going to have a nice Christmas, nice good weather, and we're going to come back into a hopefully a reduced interest rate market. So I think that's really going to give us a good push into the start of the year. Let's hope that push sustains itself heading into sort of your end of financial year, where you've got a lot of people, tax coming back, a bit more free cash. So I'd hope that interest rate push can push us into that new financial year with some strong results and a strong buyer pool. I mean, there's been a lot of people out of the market. We're sort of seeing that they're coming back in. So let's hope they all come back at once. And I think that there is only going to be positive for the commercial real estate market.
Josh, thank you very much for the commercial update.
No worries, anytime. Thank you.